Hey guys, this is the GameKiller and welcome back to Angels with Scaly Wings. So, in the last episode, we kind of went on a little long. That was mostly because I wanted to match every episode with every chapter. So I apologize for that. That was a little way too long. We should be good to go here. It should be just around 3 events in every chapter. I think 1 or 2 of which I have experienced, as I explained before. I accidentally recorded through here a few days ago. So we'll play through this again, and then we should hit that point where I'm completely blind to this. And by chapter 4, we should be completely blind. So let's get on with it. The morning sun declared the arrival of a new day and woke me from my vivid dreams. Memories of my home, enclosed within the towering perimeter wall, raced through my head. The peaceful landscape outside the apartment window stood in defiance of these old thoughts. Rolling hills and blue sky were familiar to me now, and the purity of the sight gave me hope. Kaiba, please come with me. What's going on? You sound serious. The chief will explain everything once we arrive. Okay. Hey Chief, Kaiba's here. Thanks, Sebastian. You can deal with the situation here while I talk to Kaiba, alright? Of course. Kaiba, I've got some really bad news. Well, what is it? You know Anna, right? I've met her, yes. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say this. Those few words were enough. Dread sank in, and I already knew. Don't. I ignored his words and walked past him. Damn it! We had a date. Yo, shit. I'm clipping out a little too much. I need to step back from the mic. When I turned the corner, there was no mistaking her. Anna was haphazardly covered by a sheet, leaving her tail and blood-stained hand exposed. In the end, she didn't even deserve full discretion. Are you okay? I'm fine. Let's just get this over with. Bryce nodded. And here's more bad news. The blood we found on the first victim in town matches the DNA evidence on the second victim at the power facility. Furthermore, the murder weapon and method appear to be the same across all 3 victims, and that's going to be a big problem for you. Why's that? Because with these 3 murders, Reza now qualifies as a serial killer. We won't be able to keep this whole thing quiet for much longer. Higher authorities, even the ministry in charge of your whole visit, will know about this soon. I have no idea what'll happen once they do. I'm not sure what to say to that. I don't want to worry you, but we can be sure that action will be taken soon. I've been considering this possibility for a while, and I think it might be best if you went back to your world for now. This way we can take action before the ministry does, and before all this becomes public. If we wait, we don't know what they'll do, or how the public will react. With everything going on, it's too dangerous for you to stay here. No. No. This would be the worst possible time for me to leave. We've given up our PDAs and hardly have anything to show for it. We are owed several more generators, and let's not forget that Reza's still missing. If I leave now, the only thing I return home is with my life. I'll have lost everything else. We need those generators, Bryce. I have no idea if your authorities will continue to uphold our deal, or what they do to Reza, but I'm not leaving until this is over. If that's your decision, then so be it. Anyway, let's get back on track. I called you here for a reason, Kaiba. In addition to the murder, several things were stolen, among them your PDAs, batteries, and some components used to build generators. Does that ring any bells? Not really. Reza might have some knowledge of electronics, but I doubt he has enough to assemble one of your generators, even if he had the parts. Strange. Even so, it's fair to assume Reza's involvement at this point. No one else has a greater motive to steal the PDAs, especially after what happened between him and Maverick. Unless someone wanted to frame Reza in order to sabotage this whole operation. Do you really believe that? Hey, I'm just saying that's possible. I'll shelf that idea under possible but unlikely. Hey Chief, are we done here? Pretty much. Why do you ask? We just got a message from the higher-ups. You and Kaiba are to report to the Ministry of Culture and Arts immediately. Immediately, as in right now? Yeah, apparently. What's going on? To be frank, I don't know. This is an extraordinary situation, and now that it's getting out of hand, they must want to address it. So, the worst possibility. If you expect the worst, at least you won't be disappointed. Sebastian, you can finish up here and go to the ministry when you're done. We'll probably have to make some arrangements after this meeting. Sure thing, Chief. Let's go then, shall we? It's not like we have a choice. That was quicker than I expected. I wouldn't have minded waiting out here a little longer. Greetings, Minister. Greetings. Shall we go inside for official business? No, I've got everything I need right here. It gets so stuffy inside on hot days. My assistant doesn't seem to mind, but I prefer the fresh air. I'd rather just stay out here, unless you have any objections. I don't. I see. Well, I know I haven't been exactly up to date in regards to Reza's sudden disappearance, but to get the message today that he is a confirmed serial killer was quite shocking. Frankly, I'm curious as to why the facts of this case have been withheld from me for so long. Simply because they weren't within your jurisdiction. The murders were strictly a police matter. Only with the amount of new evidence, namely the DNA and blood we found and these 3 murders now being linked together and to him, did your ministry have to become involved. I see. So Reza's involvement is now undeniable. I'm afraid so, Minister. Facts are nothing to be afraid of. Though in light of all this, I'm starting to worry about my personal safety. With our thick hides, I don't think our species has much to fear if we consider the murder weapon. Speak for yourself. You don't think something of my standing needs protection? Oh, for sure. If you're worried about your personal safety, we could look into an escort for you. Good. Considering all the murders took place during the night, I'll certainly need it. Long days are endemic in my line of work. But that's enough about myself. We now face the question of what should be done about Reza and Kaiba. Minister, we continue our hunt for Reza every day. As a matter of fact, Kaiba has been helping us to do so for a while now. Is that so? One human a murderer, another a detective. Interesting. And how do we know Kaiba isn't following a similar plan to Reza's, whatever that may be? Similar concerns were leveled by Reza's escort, Maverick. It was his overreaction that caused Reza to run away in the first place. Let the human talk for once, Chief. Please, Kaiba, enlighten me. You and Kaiba came here on the same mission, and the situation has escalated beyond our expectations. What you tell me now will determine the actions I'll take on this matter. Maybe you should start by telling me your side of the events from the beginning. Reza was fine during his early days here. Things only went wrong after you arrived. I opened my mouth, but Bryce spoke first, determined to defend me. Arguably, the problems that caused all this were apparent even then. How so? Maverick suspected Reza of planning something, but I didn't think he had a case. Well, did he? No, what he had was a suspicion. The night he followed Reza, he both him and Kaiba at the portal. The humans intended to send one of their promised generators through, but there was a confrontation that ended with both Maverick and Kaiba wounded, and Reza running away. Reza's been missing ever since. I've read the reports already, Chief. The question is, did Maverick cause this, or did he just fail to prevent it? I have no way of knowing that, Minister. You just mentioned your apparent knowledge of problems back then. Problems may not have been the right word. Let's just say Maverick's attitude was not helpful during that encounter. Why did you choose Maverick as his escort in the first place? Protection for the human ambassador was my greatest concern when I made that decision, and Maverick was the most capable individual in that regard. Well, that worked out nicely, didn't it? You also seem to think that Maverick shouldn't have remained Reza's escort. Is that true? Yes. Had I paid more attention to the warning signs, this situation may have been avoided. So you accept responsibility for the incident? Yes, Minister. I see. Now, let's get back to the topic of Kaiba. Reza was your partner in humanity's mission to come to this world. His list of criminal activities not only includes murder, but also theft of generators, electronic components, and the PDAs your people gave to us. I understand why Bryce would reason that you could help the investigation, but we have no other choice but to be suspicious of Reza's partner. What was your motivation when you agreed to help us? Oh, this is my shoot. What was the line? It's my best bet at finding the truth. I thought Reza's involvement was undeniable at this point. That may be true, but we still don't have the whole picture. We don't know if others are involved or his reasons. I just want to know why. I see. Well, after reading up on this whole situation and hearing both your accounts, I believe that Kaiba is trustworthy. Nevertheless, I think Kaiba presents a great risk. Why is that? After this meeting, I will hold a press conference to inform the public of the current situation. The people must know of the danger posed by Reza. No matter what Bryce and I think about your involvement, the public could feel differently. You, me, and Bryce will have to face the backlash resulting from this information becoming public. And what's more, Kaiba, you might be in real danger yourself. Reza himself may come to silence you once he learns that you are helping us, or consider the public uproar from those who would question your involvement. All things considered, it would be for the best if you return to your own world, until the situation has been resolved. I came to the very same conclusion, Minister. Then with your support, this is what shall be done. Please, don't take me away from Remy. You don't agree? If you send me back now, this diplomatic relationship is over. I'll have to admit defeat to humanity. There's no way I can return without your generators, RPDAs, or Reza. Maybe you could explain to them what a great choice of an ambassador Reza was. But I was his partner, so in a way, he is my responsibility. I can't just go back like this. I'm afraid that's not enough. It certainly doesn't outweigh our reasons for sending you home. Just let me explain. I'll tell you everything. Years ago, our world was prosperous. Our technology was far advanced than yours, even. Computers not only graced every household, but every single person. It was the age of information. Even children had the power to access the most advanced knowledge at their fingertips. With our PDAs, our interconnectedness with other people and our environment was greater than ever. From locomotion to repetitive work and household chores, many processes were automated to such a degree that, except for our jobs and hobbies, there was nothing needed to be done by a person anymore. Even the concept of something wielding a weapon was outdated, as wars were no longer fought by people, but machines. Isn't that the plot of Terminator? Looking back, it was probably the single most prosperous time in human history. Exploitation of the environment and other people was at an all-time low, as was crime. I'm getting too close again. Conversely, our technological advancements had drastically increased quality of life. Humans were no longer required for strenuous and repetitive tasks. Education had reached an all-time high, and many new jobs were created. Generally, happiness had reached levels never before seen. Yet one day, everything changed. When the Fire Nation attacked! A solar flare that was headed for Earth was detected by an automated monitoring system. It was determined to be so powerful that it dwarfed all others ever recorded in history. We had less than a week to prepare. Chaos hit much earlier than that. As people scrambled to shield themselves and their possessions from the oncoming ion storm. On a worldwide level, power lines were switched off. Jeez, okay. Satellites reorientated in space, and planes grounded to mitigate the effects that would hit us. Despite humanity's contingency... Oh my god. Despite humanity's contingency plan for such an event and all our efforts, we were still not prepared for the sheer magnitude of the solar flare that arrived. It was only then, when our race had become so dependent on technology, that we were immeasurably vulnerable against this kind of disaster. That day, a force with the power of 10 billion Hiroshima bombs was unleashed into our atmosphere. The eyewitness reports from this day varied as they were terrifying. A huge, beautiful aurora could be seen on the horizon before fireballs hurled across the sky. In some places, these lights became so bright that even those asleep at night awoke, as though day had already arrived. A coronal mass ejection by itself did not have the power to kill anyone directly, but the side effects were disastrous. After the lights in the sky arrived, sparks showered from electrical outlets everywhere, igniting rampant fires in every town and city. Facilities that stored weapons, fireworks, or other explosives became centers of widespread destruction and loss of life. During the next stage, the solar flare started to affect body modifications and caused commonplace pacemakers and nanomachines to fail. 15% of the world's population died as the result of this alone. Once the full power of the waves hit us, however, society as we knew it collapsed in one fell swoop. Power grids on Earth shut down in an instant, as did all the machines that automated our routine tasks. Long-distance communication and transport became a thing of the past. Without electrical power, the quality of healthcare plummeted, and water and sewage systems were crippled. Diseases we thought defeated centuries ago made their comeback in a most unsightly fashion. Many thought that the end of the world had arrived, and in a way, it had. Some people blamed whoever their belief system would allow, angry at the gods that had forsaken them. Others pointed their fingers at our lifestyle and society. Not that anyone was listening. Practically, we were back in the Middle Ages. Governments collapsed and were overthrown, and the ensuing power vacuums filled with groups of people that were sometimes organized and sometimes not. The few functioning electronic devices became rare, sought-after artifacts over which battles and even wars were fought. Of course, there were also wars over resources and territory. The weaponry used was improvised, or reclaimed from the days when humans had been present on the battlefield. It had been ages, but people returned to the old, bloody ways of war. Humanity is in shambles now. Those I thought I'd call family and friends now live with me in a giant, mostly self-sufficient city-state of survivors. A huge wall around this perimeter, guarded by militia, prevents any outside interference. It's the only way we can retain a modicum of order. Gangs of raiders and looters run rampant on the outside. They wouldn't hesitate to kill first and ask questions later if they had known about my PDA. Our contained community has flourished for years now. We have homes to live in, crops to grow, and livestock to raise, and still have our own automated hospital that runs on salvage generators. Lately though, supplies have started to run low, and dangerously so. The power we have is running out. Illnesses are spreading through the city, and treatment isn't as available as it used to be. Our population is dropping by the day. We took a great risk to increase the radius of our scouting missions, desperate to find something outside the wall that could help us. You already know the rest of this story. We found the portal, and you. And now you know why this whole thing is so important to me. All our hopes lie in acquiring the generators you promised us. The act of sending Reza and me here was, without a doubt, already cost the lives of some people back home. Beyond the city walls is a dead zone. We haven't heard from any other settlements for months now. The state of the rest of our world is unknown. When Reza and I were sent here, my peers made it clear that this was our last chance. If anything happens to us, no more people will be sent. If we can't manage to bring back something that will help, we'll see the fate of our tens of thousands that live in our city. I'm sorry, Kaiba. I didn't know. If what you're telling me is true, it unfortunately does not work in your favor. As sad as your situation may be, it gives Reza a motive. Desperate times call for desperate measures after all. In that vein, it also gives you a motive. Considering the gravity of the human plight, it gives you all the more reason to collaborate with him. I'm not. What Reza's doing is wrong. You can't set me away under these circumstances, because I'm your best bet at finding him. Even so, you would be still in grave danger after we announce Reza's involvement in the murders. I cannot and will not take responsibility for consequences when I know of the risks. What about our deal then? In the wake of this new information, and as a sign of goodwill, we will send the generators you are owed through the portal once this is over, under 2 conditions. Humanity must condemn Reza's actions, and we must reclaim the stolen PDAs. I've changed my mind. You should let Kaiba stay here. I cannot take your word under consideration in this matter, Chief. Taking into account Maverick's actions and your responsibility for them, you will have to be dealt with separately. With my authority as the minister in charge of the human visit, my decision is to have Kaiba sent back to the human world through the portal. Please, don't take me away from Remy. Immediately. Chief, please arrange for an escort to take Kaiba back to the portal now. I could do it myself, Minister. Well, we have our own matters to discuss, Chief, and I would rather get that over with as quickly as possible. In that case, one of my officers should be here any moment. Arrange for him to meet us here. How handy. Then let us What the hell was that? Let us wait for this officer of yours. It didn't take long for Sebastian to arrive. After the situation was explained, he was visibly shocked, but didn't protest when he was given the task of sending me back through the portal. Let's go, Kaiba. Don't I even get to say goodbye? Let us not waste any more time. You will still be free to send letters after you have arrived on the other side. Just go, Kaiba. Come on then. We were silent as Sebastian and I slowly made our way to the portal. With each step I took, I drew closer and closer to the hopelessness waiting for me in the ruins of the human world. All in all, I certainly had a unique experience alongside these dragons, and although this place was filled with just as much drama and murder as back home, I would remember this world and all the people I met. I would fondly think back to the days I spent in their comfortable standard of living, a shadow of how humanity used to be. Even without the generators, at the very least I'd be returning home with a few life lessons. What's going on here? Lost in thought, I hadn't even noticed the Dean approach. It's none of your concern. Please leave. Can't I even get a few minutes before I go? I suppose nobody's stopping us, but make it quick. Hey Kaiba, what's going on here? Something serious happened. Looks like I have to leave. Right now? Why? It was the minister's decision. Shit. Not mine. You'll hear about it all soon enough. Does this have anything to do with what I've been hearing? Is Reza really a murderer? I'm afraid so. Oh. Well, what does that make you? I don't have anything to do with that. I was helping the police find him. Then why are you leaving? They don't want me to stay. They want me to stay here while all this going on. It's for my own safety. Well, it was nice to get to know you, at least. Likewise. I guess I should be going. Goodbye, Kaiba. Goodbye, Dean. I remember her. That was the witness from Reza's first murder. Did you know her? Yeah. I see. A few minutes later, we arrived at the portal, standing proud as ever in defiance of the elements. How many years had this structure survived before it was found? I hope I can remember how this thing works. Are you joking? Yeah, sorry. Got it. Alright. I suppose it's time for us to say goodbye. Let's keep it professional. I don't like to mix personal matters with work. He looked away, and I shrugged. Go ahead and turn it on, then. Would you stand between the pillars, please? Of course. I took my place and stared towards the horizon, while I thought about what would happen now, in this world and others. Even if I made a break for it, I'd become a fugitive, no better than Reza. It'd be near impossible to investigate the case by myself, while on the run, in a world I knew so little about. At the very least, I took comfort in the fact that I did everything I could to help, even it turned out like this. Nevertheless, I dreaded going back empty-handed and returning to my old life in our ruined city. Oh my god. Any second now, the teleportation process would start, disintegrating my body before I reappear on the other side, back in my dying world. I wonder if there was any risk of getting lost somewhere between worlds. We didn't really know how the portals worked after all. Maybe I'd be flung somewhere else in space-time, or it might affect my body in some way. I hadn't noticed any unusual changes in my body since I arrived in the dragon's world, but I had no way of knowing if there were potential long-term side effects. I still remember the images I saw when I teleported the first time, the vivid sights and patterns. People and situations I've recognized since then. It only took a moment to arrive at the other side of the portal, yet it felt like I dreamed 1,000 dreams. And during the nights I spent here, these dreams had often reappeared. Any time now, I would undergo the same experience again. I was almost relieved that my adventure was over. Things had turned out far differently than I expected. I evaded danger, got swept into a murder investigation, and met incredible intelligent beings from several different species. It had certainly been a time to remember. With that thought, I closed my eyes and braced myself for the moment that would come any second now. But that moment never came. And honestly, this was such, it was kind of expected when I first played through this. But when I realized I screwed up, I was like, oh shit. Damn, what a spoiler, man. But whatever. a little bit on, and we should be blind. The next thing that did happen was that I heard Sebastian's voice. It's not working. Are you joking again? No, really, it's not working. Oh, wait, what is this? I bleed. It's broken. Can you fix it? I don't think so. This doesn't look like a simple act of vandalism. It looks like some parts were torn out. I guess that means I'm not leaving, huh? Yes, I get to stay with Remy. Not yet at least. Jeez. Well, what do we do now? Let's head back. The chief has to know about this right away. What are you still doing here? We were back in the ministry before long. Amira and Bryce were still outside, as Remy approached the two of them. Here are the case files, Amira. Why, thank you. Kaiba and an officer? What is this about, Amira? That is what I would like to know. Please, officer, enlighten me. Why has my order not been carried out? The portal is broken. It's broken? Yeah, it looks like someone tampered with it and stole parts. I couldn't even get the interface to turn on. We'll check it out once I'm done here. I suppose Kaiba will stay with us a little longer after all. Seeing as this is an emergency situation, I'll make this short. Chief, as a result of your carelessness regarding Maverick and Reza, you are temporarily removed from any duties related to the humans. Given these dangerous times, you will instead serve as my personal escort until further notice. Considering the circumstances, you will be allowed to coordinate the investigation of the portal, but after that, you are to immediately return to me to start your new task. Understood? Understood. Then all of you are dismissed. She turned to leave, Remy trailing after her. Alright, let's head to the portal. That includes you, Kaiba. Of course. Out of the corner of my eye, I spotted a sheet of paper on the ground. Hey, what's this? Amira probably dropped one of the case files. Either her or her assistant. You better bring that to her. Sebastian and I should hurry to the portal. Meet us there afterwards, okay? Sure. I picked up the sheet and started reading. It was about what happened when I met Reza at the portal. Of course, it didn't say anything I didn't already know. As I walked up the stairs, I wondered if it was okay for an unauthorized person to enter the building. All I knew about the place was that Amira worked there. I did have an important document that was going to be missed, so I walked inside, only to be greeted by an empty lobby. Luckily, there were some signs directing me to Amira's office. It didn't take long to find it, and I heard voices when I approached the door. By the way, what happened to the scroll you brought me this morning? The last time I saw it, it did not have that tear. I dropped it. Tell me something new for once? Okay, someone else dropped it. Am I supposed to believe that, Remy? Are you aware of how much this costs? Repairing and replacing artifacts is not cheap. I'm afraid we will have to deduct this from your wage again. I see. You're not doing this on purpose, are you? Of course not. You've been working for me for a long time now. I expected you to learn at some point, but you were very resistant to do so. Not wanting to listen to this any longer, I decided to knock. There were a few seconds of silence. Please, come in. I only opened the door long enough to hand Remy the sheet of paper. I think you dropped this outside. After I closed the door and started to walk away, I heard the voices resume. This is from one of the case files you requested. You must have dropped it. Then why was it left outside? As my assistant, you should have paid more attention. If this got into the wrong hands, someone could get in trouble. damn son. Remy is in hot water right now. I made my way back through the portal and arrived shortly after Bryce and Sebastian. Well, I can confirm that it's not turning on. Like, what the fuck is that? Why is he making that expression? I told you that already. Just want to be sure. You really think it would still work with a chunk ripped out of it? Hey, I'm not an engineer. We don't know how the portal works. It was worth another try. There you are, Kaiba. What do you make of this? I'm afraid I don't know any more than you do. I'm not an engineer either. In that case, we should start thinking about the who and when. There are patrols assigned to the portal and surrounding area day and night. If someone tampered with the portal, they must have seen something. Today's day patrol didn't notice anything unusual though. I guess she just missed the part about the portal being vandalized. It'd be easy to overlook. It's a small part of the machine, and it's not like she was expected to check every square inch of it with each lap around the area. What about the night patrol then? When I went over the reports this morning, I noticed the night patrol hadn't handed theirs in yet. And who was patrolling last night? Let me think for a minute. The schedule always goes in a certain order, so last night would have been... Damn. What is it? The night patrol for last night would have been Maverick. I got wrapped up in all the recent chaos and forgot to find a replacement for him when he went on sick leave. Maybe Amira was right to take me off the case. So there was no night guard here at all. That's right. Whoever it was had an easy time doing whatever they wanted. Could have been Maverick. If he knew no one was going to be here, he could have used that knowledge to his advantage. He couldn't have known that I'd forget to find a replacement though. I don't usually slip up like this. What about Reza? Why would he have done it? He'd be cutting off his only way out. No, he'd be doing something smart. If he has the part needed to get the portal working again, he's in control of who gets to use it. He's cutting off our ability to communicate with mankind. We wouldn't be able to inform them of Reza's actions. Maybe we shouldn't have kept the investigation secret for this long. If your theory is true, that would have been proof Reza's actions were his own, not humanity's. Hey, I already trust you on that. Or it's a stunt to grant humanity's plausible deniability. No way. Things are too dire for the humans to take such an extraordinary risk, especially for that. I'm sure that wouldn't be the only reason they'd benefit, though. There must be something that we're not aware of. Maybe we're looking at this from the wrong angle. If no one was here to guard the portal, anyone could have broken it. It doesn't necessarily have to do anything with Reza or Maverick. But they still have the greatest motives. Sure, but they definitely aren't the only ones to have one. There could be private groups who are interested in the technology or its significance as human artifact. So that puts us exactly nowhere. At least as far as speculation is concerned. It's about time for forensics to show up anyway. Let's hope they can pull some clues from all this. Sebastian, can you take it from here? You've been just as dedicated to the case as I have. Since I have to be at the minister's side for a while, I'd like you to take charge of the investigation for now. Thanks, Chief. I won't let you down. What's up with that, anyway? Being appointed as Amira's bodyguard as punishment seems strange to me. Are you kidding? I could have lost my job. This is a way better outcome. Honestly, she probably did it for her own sake, more for anything else. But I'm not complaining. Yo, the stuttering is fucking strong with this one. If that's all, I'm gonna head back to the ministry. I shouldn't keep her waiting. So what does that make you now? Temporary chief? More like case leader. By the way, you won't need to stick around while forensics does their job. Thanks for their help. I assume you can find your way back to your apartment? Yeah, of course. Alright, I'll see you later then. See ya. Nice. So this is the part where I stopped recording last time. So we should be like going off on at least one more event, or maybe two. But we have been recording for at least like 30 minutes now, so I don't know. We might go on for like 30 minutes more. I considered spending my free time roaming town, but I decided that it would be best to keep myself out of the spotlight. After cooking myself a rudimentary meal, I considered picking up another book when the doorbell rang. Hey Kaiba. Hey Sebastian, do you need my help again? We're just a small town police department, and with Bryce removed from the case, our resources are thinner than ever. I understand. So what do you have for me? First up is the primary witness in the latest murder, Damien, the victim's assistant. He was the one who found her body. A few things have changed since this morning, as we've gotten some additional information from forensics that warrants further questioning. I know you knew the victim personally, so you don't have to do this if you don't want to. I'll leave the choice to you. You can find our assistant at the production facility. You seemed interested in the underground building found near the portal. I realized you might actually be able to help us with that. Since it's suspected to be of human origin, your opinion would be greatly appreciated. I guess I should add archaeologist to my resume. Maybe human matters consultant would be more appropriate. Do you really think it's okay for me to tamper with your priceless discoveries? Oh, you wouldn't actually go there in person. I just want you to take a look at the collected information in the archives and give us your opinion. Besides, no one is allowed to visit at the moment. The building is old and unstable, and there is a danger of it collapsing or flooding. Obviously, we wouldn't want either of those to happen. Flooding? Yes, the whole building is underground, and we determined that there is a rather large pocket of water surrounding it. Any kind of disturbance could endanger everything and anyone inside. I see. We also located another witness for the latest murder. A store clerk reported seeing and hearing something, so it's probably worth it to ask him a few questions. I'm gonna fix my mic for a little while. That should be better. Got it. Here are all the details. Visit me at the department once you're done. Sure thing. It was interesting that they still relied on me for their investigations, even after they tried to send me back to my world. I didn't expect him to allow me to help with police matters after everything that happened. Now that the possibility of sending me back was eliminated, the advantages of having me on their side apparently outweighed the risks, though I had to wonder who would have been more careful from now on. Looks like I'm gonna have to make a solid choice here. I don't think that the archive seems secondary right now, but honestly, I'm not so sure. The store is from the first murder or like the second, maybe the third, I don't know. I can go to either of these. Whatever, let's just do it. If we get all three, that would be nice. Hey, Kaiba. Lorem, right? Yep. Did you get a chance to think about what I told you last time? Don't worry, I didn't lose your number. They kept me pretty busy, so I didn't really have much free time. Well, if anything changes, give me a call. I will. I gotta go now, so take care. You too. What's Lorem doing here? What is Lorem doing here? Oh, it's you again. What do you want? Can I ask you a few questions? What about Anna's murder? And who are you to going around asking questions like that? I'm working with police on this matter, and I'm supposed to believe that. For all I know, you could be with a murderer, and are just here to find out if I know something that can implicate you. Well, according to my information, you didn't particularly like the victim. Not only were you the last person to see her alive, but you were also the one who found her. As you may imagine, this warrants some questions. You know what? I don't have to listen to this. I don't know who you think you are, barging into my workplace and barking questions. But if you really are with the police, let them know that I won't say one more word on the matter without a lawyer. I wonder if Damien was a suspicious person in general, or if the rumors surrounding Reza were affecting his perception. Jesus Christ. His perception of me. Before this, everyone I had talked to during my investigations had been rather cooperative. Maybe I need to, like, talk in a normal voice, because honestly, this is really tiring. Before deciding my next move, I returned to my apartment for a moment of rest. A small piece of paper had been slipped under my door while I was gone. Don't go to the portal. I'm sorry. I just thought something really bad. That's all it said. I considered the possibility of a hidden message, but that was unlikely. The statement was blunt and quickly scrawled. Someone clearly didn't want me to go to the portal, but why would I go there in the first place? As it was out of order right now, such an action would serve no purpose. I looked outside the window at the portal's faint silhouette in the distance. The paper rustled between my fingers as I fidgeted with it, wondering about the message's sender and significance. My train of thought was violently interrupted by a sharp burst of gunfire, echoing from the portal. I had to think fast. The gunshots ensured Reza's involvement. He was at the portal. The question was, why? If this was his attempt to flee back from the human world, he would receive a rather unpleasant surprise the moment he would try to use a portal. Or maybe Sebastian's theory was correct, and Reza held the part needed to repair the portal, in which case his escape could be imminent. The gunshots themselves were another question. Was someone trying to stop him? The police patrol may have seen him, and they may have been taken by surprise. This could be another murder in progress. All of this murder is committed with a sharp weapon before now, not a gun. He didn't want to be heard. Besides, it was only early evening, and the town was still bustling. If Reza wanted to stay hidden, he'd be doing a rather poor job at it. Of course, there was also the possibility that he wanted to be heard, but who would want to attract? The police? Maverick? It could easily be a trap for those hunting him, and that technically included me, though I wasn't sure if he knew of my involvement in this investigation. There was also a very real possibility that I knew my apartment was close enough to the portal to hear a gunshot. Could it be a signal for me? Regardless, the words I held in my hands were unmistakable. Don't go to the portal. What should I do? Stay inside and call the police. Stay inside and call the police seems like the most logical decision here. Ultimately, I trust him a serious message. Remy's list of phone numbers given to me when he brought me to this apartment in the first place proved to be a valuable tool. I dialed the emergency line and was greeted by a calm voice asking me about my emergency. The gravity of the situation was understood, and I was advised to stay inside until further notice. A team was dispatched to deal with the situation while I waited. From my window, I tried to catch a glimpse of what was going on at the portal, but I couldn't see much. The dark of night was fast approaching. About an hour later, I was informed that the team had searched the perimeter, though no trace of Reza was found. I was given the go-ahead to continue with my investigation, but I was free to stay where I was if I felt unsafe. Damn. Should have checked it out, but I might have been killed. Lul. Then again, that would have been, I don't know, because things like that can like lead up to me being slightly suspicious. So I don't know. This is really secondary right now. But honestly, it seems tempting. And I don't know what I'd find at the store. And we all know that the first one is just a dead end, so... Let's check the archives, screw it. I was on my way to the police station when a voice called out to me. Hey, you! I'm talking to you, human! Oh. I don't know who this is. Can I help you? I certainly hope so. I'm in a little conundrum here. My cart seems to be stuck. I can see that. I'm Katsuharu, by the way. Local ice cream vendor? Kaiba. You probably heard by now. Of course, of course. In any case, do you think you can spend some time to help me out? It might take a while though, so I hope you're not in a rush. I'm really busy right now. I can't help an old man. But what about the murderer? He might attack this old person. And I've been helping him. Oh no. What a conundrum I'm in. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikey, 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 yikes. Okay, I'll help you. Thank you. And now, I already tried pulling it out, but I think the axle's going to break if I try to do that again. It wasn't really in the best condition to begin with, honestly, and I heard a crack when I tried to pull it out earlier. So what do you want me to do? The cart is pretty heavy, so I'll be the one lifting it and holding the wheel steady so the axle doesn't break. Once I give you the sign, you start pulling, and hopefully that'll do the trick. Alright. Here, grab the handles and wait for my signal. By the time I had gotten in position, Katsuharu was already on the other side of the cart, getting dirty as he slowly lifted the affected corner of the cart out of the muddy hole. Is that your sign? Should I start pulling now? Do it now! I started pulling, but the carts turned out much heavier than I expected and didn't move. Maybe I should try that abridged Yuji voice. I don't know. What are you waiting for? Do it already. I pulled harder, but the cart still refused to budge. That was so shit, by the way. That was so shit. I mustered all my strength before I pulled as hard as I possibly could. Yes! Do it! Slowly, the cart started moving, and after a few seconds, it was freed from the perilous clutches of the muddy puddle. With a dull thud, the dragon set the cart down again before he flopped on the ground, exhausted. Ugh. Hey, we did it. Yeah, good job. Do you want my calling some help? No, I just need some rest, and maybe some ice cream. Yes, I'll have some ice cream, and they'll be better in no time. That must be some pretty good ice cream. Oh, you have no idea. You must have already heard people talking about my wonderful, unique ice cream experience. Actually, not really. Where are my manners? I haven't even properly thanked you yet. It's no problem. No, I insist. I won't be indebted to you for helping me. What are you planning? You are hereby invited to join me for ice cream. As an ambassador, you owe it yourself and humanity to try it. Maybe I do. It's poison! Oh no! It's oh, I thought it was gonna give it to me now. I was like, oh shit. I'm gonna die right here. Well, I must be going for now. Here's my number. I'll get you that ice cream some other time. Thanks. Yeah. It's getting late. I better head to the police station now. Do I have everything? Alright, let's see what Sebastian will say to this. No! I wasted all that time! I'm sorry, Sebastian. I found nothing. There you are, Kaiba. It seems to be you taking a liking to Bryce's chair. Maybe. I could get used to this. Don't tell Bryce, though. By the way, good job telling the police when you heard Reza. It's too bad he got away again, but maybe a witness will come forward and we'll find out what happened. Now let's take a look at what you got for me. This isn't much information to go on, but who knows what would come in handy. I do what I can. I know, and your help is greatly appreciated, believe me. Especially since we're so short on staff right now. That will be all for today. I'll contact you if we need anything. Of course. See you next time. See ya. Damn! No help! That helped no one. That helped no one, not even me. That only helped that old man. Ah. Well, at least we got ice cream. There's that. Oh no. Indecision. Whatever shall I do? I need to trust my heart. Oh, but is... Oh, wait. Okay, we can consider the newspaper story, because if we say our findings to Lorem, I mean, like, that could be quite useful, maybe, but that would also present a great risk. And also, I am quite busy. Ice cream, though. I have to trust my heart. This seems very... This is kind of romantic. Hey, Remy. Hello, Kaiba. Is there any particular reason why you wanted to meet me here? I enjoy Tatsu Park is all. Have you been here before? Can't say I have. I see. Well, what do you think of it? It's pretty romantic. The music isn't helping. You think so? Yeah, just look at those trees. Would make a nice spot for a date, really. I agree with that. You mentioned you want to talk to me about something. Yes, well, about that. I just have a lot on my mind and I feel I needed to call someone. I wouldn't burden you if I had anyone else to talk to, but the simple fact is that I don't. Hey, you can talk to me, Remy. Thank you, I appreciate that. It's not a problem. What's on your mind? I don't even know where to begin. Do you ever feel like there's an emptiness inside of you? That every day is the same, joyless routine that you could wish you could escape, but you can't. Do you ever dream that you could ever had a dream that you could do anything? Shit, what was the line? I do. I see. Is this about Amira again? Well, it's not just about her, but working with her doesn't make things any easier. To think that just a few years ago I was the happiest I could have been, and now I have nothing but my miserable life. What happened? It's a long story. We have a lot of time. Okay, well... A few years ago, I worked in the public sector. I mean, I still do, but my position was a different one. I didn't work under a minister back then. I was part of a committee tasked with providing independent factually backed opinions on community topics. It's supposed to help not only politicians, but also the general populace. Free from outside interference, we did our own fact-checking based on research and publicly reported our findings. Our individual members didn't always agree, but we made sure the end results were based on verifiable facts. In this way, we offered a variety of comprehensive opinions on difficult topics. We found the truth and allowed people and politicians to make up their minds from there. Our work was a key influence in the community, and because the conclusions of each individual member were often very different, it could never be said that we were biased. It was during one such assignment that I met a certain person named Amelia. My task was to determine the viability of several projects, each competing for a research grant from our council. Amelia was a member of one of the scientific teams vying for a grant. She was an inventor, and her group was looking for ways to streamline hospital processes and tests by utilizing new technology. The first time I saw her was when our committee watched her group's pitch. One of the things we had to do was determine whether their claims and goals were realistic. In her case, they were. Ultimately, they didn't get the grant, but when she recognized me in a restaurant a while later, we started talking. She was very smart, and I admired her spirit. She just wanted to help people with talents, and in this way, she reminded me a lot of myself. We kept seeing one another, and we grew close. Before long, we were dating. It felt so right. I thought our relationship was about to become very serious, but then she informed me that our research group had applied for another grant. Of course, that complicated things. My committee was once again tasked with judging the viability of the different projects, and while I intended to stay impartial on the matter, she would probably be seen as an influence due to our relationship. With these concerns in mind, we decided to not meet again until the grant winner was determined. We hadn't expected her group to get it, but and then they did. We didn't want to end our relationship over something like that, but if word got out that we were together during the decision-making period, it would put both our jobs in jeopardy. In the end, we decided to wait and made a commitment. 6 months after the grant was given to our team, we would return to one another and make our relationship public. That much time would have ensured that it wouldn't be an issue. We even made plans to move in together when that time came. But we never got that far. I only know the rest of what happened from various reports, but apparently Amelia got sick. Nothing serious, mind you. She continued working from home as best she could. The project was already behind schedule, and she didn't want to endanger it. People were critical and very curious about what the project would amount to, and she didn't want to be responsible for its failure if she took some days off to recuperate. So every day, she continued working on the project until the dead of night. One late evening, she went out to pick up her medication, in addition to something to help her stay awake, but she was sick and overworked. The combination of the prescription side effects and the supplements caused her to collapse. No one was around to see her fall. When she was found the next day, she was covered by a blanket of fresh snow. It was too late. She froze to death during the cold winter night. If someone was with her, this wouldn't have happened. But she died out there all alone. All because we kept to our relationship a secret. We had plans to move in together. We even talked about having our own small family. Some things are just not meant to be, it seems. If I had to identify the moment life started going downhill, losing Amelia would be it. My heart was ripped out in that moment, and now only emptiness remains. It's like a wound that never closes. Maybe you saw those pictures in my apartment. Even my home is a reminder of her. We were going to move into that apartment together. And this time wearing, I got it from her as well. When she gave it to me, she said it was red like her scales. As long as I wore it, she would be with me in a way. For so long, I've been holding on to her with all my might. I wish I could stop because I know it's killing me, but I've been doing it for so long that I don't think I can. Yet in some way, holding on to Amelia has helped me. When I look back on all the happy memories we made, and Mary's bullying hurts a little less, if only because those memories hurt so much more. And I would love my job if it wasn't for Amira. It's a constant struggle, a battle I have to fight every day. Each of her words slices through me, creating new wounds on top of others that never closed. Some days, I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't know how much longer I can. Damn, son. Damn, son. Shit. I'm not sure if there's anything that can fill the void. Have you ever spoken to a professional about this? No, I don't think I could. Not with a stranger. Thank you, Kaiba. Getting that off my chest has already helped a lot. No problem, Remy. Anything else on your mind? Well, there was the whole thing about Anna. Yeah, you mentioned that last time. Are you still worried about what she was working on? Not as much. I guess whatever she was doing is over now, but who knows what all went on in her lab. I imagine we'll hear all about it once the police search it in her apartment. I guess that's not much use thinking about it, especially now that she's out of the picture. In the end, I can't help but feel a little sorry for her too. With her condition, I imagine that the ministry's disapproval must have been a tough pill to swallow. What are you talking about? She had cancer. I see. That kind of diagnosis would drive some people crazy. Maybe that's what it did to her. Having to live with that knowledge must have been difficult. Remy paused and gave me an embarrassed smile. Quite a bit of time has passed since you arrived, and you've barely been able to speak. I've been talking a lot. I don't mind. There must be a lot on your mind too. There is. Since I work with Amira, I know all the details surrounding you and Reza. Not many do. Many rumors are going around town. All this time you've been working with our police? Yeah. And now you're hunting the person who's supposed to be your partner. That must be really hard for you. I came here because I wanted to do the right thing. Nothing about that has changed. What kind of person is Reza anyway? The kind that stops on nothing to achieve what he believes in. I can see that. We've already just witnessed how far he'll go. What do you think about him? Honestly, I'm not sure. Back home, this relentless quality of his was admired, but I certainly don't condone his actions. Given what I know about him, I think he must have a reason, as weird and as twisted as it might be. And what about you? I have my own principles. I see. How's your hunt for Reza going anyway? Not too great. We don't have any strong leads or any idea of his whereabouts. In the end, we're just following his trail of murder and destruction. People are getting afraid. The rumors are starting to take effect. I thought Amira was going to give a press conference to warn the public. That didn't happen. She feared the potential backlash if people knew about Reza while he was still here. So for the time being, he has been declared as a missing person. The public has been informed that if someone sees him, they are to call the police immediately. They were told he may be suffering from an affliction that makes him behave erratically. But some people are putting two and two together. No one has seen Reza for a while, even before he was officially declared missing. It's easy to line up the timelines and see that murders started happening shortly after he vanished. What we do know about the break-ins and thefts is also damning. The objects stolen all point towards Reza. I'm not sure how much longer they can keep this a secret. How do you think the public will react, considering that I'm still staying here? I don't know. We can't really predict the public opinion, but you can bet there'll be critical voices. I'm not sure how I could convince everyone that I'm not involved with Reza's plans. Well, you do have the council's support. If Amira voiced that you are on our side, it wouldn't be so bad if the public found out. Yeah, but she also made it clear that she believes most people won't have the same opinion. She won't support me publicly if their vote is against me. That is true. Amira plays the political game a lot. She aligns with the popular opinion so people will like her. Not one for politics, really. But, you know, if she's just like getting on the bandwagon about all things, I mean, like, that kinda is dishonest. It is, but that's true, she is. Does the public know about the portal's current state? No. If it can be fixed, it wouldn't be worth mentioning, and if they can't fix it, they aren't going to announce it before they know how to deal with the current situation. Compared to Reza, it's not really a problem. It might become one pretty soon. If word gets out and I'm suddenly his accomplice, what would happen to me? How would we even deal with Reza if you caught him? Oh, shoot. I'm not sure. I suppose we'd have to work something out between our legal system and whatever humanity has to say on the matter. And if the portal is done for, what then? And humanity would be out of the picture for any legal proceedings. Reza would be likely held until contact has been reestablished, or just serve his sentence here. I see. How do your jails work anyway? Well, if a crime has been committed and proven without a doubt, a jail sentence can be the consequence. Our delinquents live in an area separate from the rest of society, monitored at all hours of the day. They receive the help they need, and efforts are taken to make them realize their wrongdoings and integrate them back into our community. Life isn't all that much different than it is here. The space is more cramped, for sure, but mostly it's just a very controlled environment. That's not much of a punishment. It's a consequence, but not necessarily a punishment. Jeez, our society is at large benefits more from people who are rehabilitated, and if mental issues are the cause, those can at least be found and addressed. That sounds like how it used to be back home. These days, in our city, you get 3 strikes. What does that mean? 3 infractions of our rules and you get thrown out of the city. If someone is a drain on our limited resources, we won't support them. While I can understand why you needed to incorporate such a policy, the finality of it makes me a bit uneasy. It has worked so far. It's not as if the outside is completely unkind. Someone expelled from the city might find it's a different community, or join one of the mobile groups. The situation inside our city-state is still much better than outside, though. They're very strict with those allowed to live there. It's a privilege. Anyone or anything that threatens the inside society of our lives of its people is removed very quickly. How do a murderer like Reza be dealt with? An eye for an eye? No, we don't do that. But murder is a crime so heinous that immediate expulsion is the consequence, regardless of prior infractions. I see. What do citizens think about this system? Some agree with the methods, some don't. But as long as it works, people won't complain. Weeding out undesirable elements is what keeps their standard of living intact. I guess that means politics don't play a big role from where you come from. No. They won't change a working system. It varies here, but I'm so tired of Amira and her games. As I work with her, I can see exactly how she plays the public. I know every council member has her own approach, but everything she does is so tailored towards the public's expectations. For her, it's just a popularity contest. You know what? That gives me an idea. Really? What is it? The human visit and all those associated consequences are her responsibility, right? Yes. For her, the situation with Reza must be utterly horrifying. She keeps talking about preventing public backlash, but she's really just trying to protect herself. That sounds accurate. Maybe we can use that to our advantage. How? She can't send me back to my world right now. That makes me the only one here with knowledge of Reza and humans in general. That's true. If I speak from this point of authority, we should have a much easier time convincing her of anything we want. You wouldn't convince her to let you stay in our world, though. Yes, but I was trying to use reason and plead with her. I didn't take into account her fear of public backlash. I think we can manipulate this fear of hers and use it to our advantage. If there were consequences to fear from Reza, me, or the rest of humanity, and those consequences would make her look bad to the public, that would be a reason for her to consider any action, right? I suppose so, but what situation could this apply to? She nearly sent me back through the portal. If she tries anything again, at least we have something we can use against her. I think I see where you're coming from. Race is still a mystery to me, though. All things considered, wouldn't it be beneficial for him to stay here? No offense, but even our prisons offer us better standard of living than your city. As such, couldn't that be a reason for him to have vandalized the portal? I don't think so. You're right, your world is much better shaped than ours. But even if Reza could stay here, he wouldn't. He came here for the same reason I did, to help our people. He has a very pronounced sense of duty to humanity, and I believed in him when he stepped through the portal. He proclaimed that he would do anything he could. When I met him again in this world, I had the impression that he wanted to get our mission over as soon as possible so we can return to our world with aid. That's going to be difficult with the portal out of order. The person who did it probably didn't realize it was a very good idea. This might make Reza even more desperate. Who knows what he'll do next. And if anything happens, I can't leave either. If the portal is gone for good, I suppose you have to stay here. What do you think about that? That wouldn't be so bad. I have you. Of course, I still want to help our city. But if there was no way to return, I wouldn't mind living here. I see. Only now that I realized everything I told you earlier must be so petty compared to the struggles you face. We all have our own struggles. I suppose that's true. I can't even imagine what life must be like where you're from. Back home, I was just trying to survive and help others do the same. That hasn't changed. I'm almost afraid of going back to the city though. Times are so rough. Yet even if I didn't have to go back, I would. I can't just let them down like that, you know. I have to try and do what I can. That's why I came here. I wish I could be that strong. Who says you can't? I don't know, You told me about your old job. Yeah, I miss those days. What about it? It's not exactly the same as saving a city, but you were helping people, right? That's true. Maybe once your term with the Mara is over, you could do something like that again. I really wish I could. Can I ask you a question? Of course. Do you even like me? There must be a reason why you put up with me for this so long. What are you talking about? Do you consider me a friend, or maybe more? No, hold on now. This line doesn't imply anything. It doesn't have to imply anything. You know, maybe just like, hey, maybe they're just like, you know, a comrade or something. Maybe like an ally. It's something like more than just, you know, we're friends. Hey, like maybe I could confide in this character. You don't know that. Is that so? In that case, well, the summer festival is coming soon. It's an event we hold in town every year. They've got fireworks and all kinds of shows. It might be fun for you to experience a different part of our culture. What do you say? Would you like to accompany me? I'd love to, but I can't promise I won't have other obligations at the time. I see. Well, I'll call you and we'll see if we can work it out sometime around our schedules. Sure thing. Then it's settled. It's a date. I probably should get going now, though. Thanks for hearing me out, Kaiba. Likewise. Damn, that's long. That's almost as long as the last episode. No! More free time? I can't I literally can't, guys. I literally can't. It's gone on for too long, way too long. Ah, and I tried to sync it up with the other. I tried to sync it up with chapters too, and it got drawn out for so long. Damn. Like, why? All right. Yeah, I gotta end it here, guys. It's way too long. So we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere, guys. Yeah. So, that about does it for this episode. If you liked it, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. Like I said, I'll be pushing as much of this as I can, try to get the series finished. And yeah, from like the whole Remy part onward, I should be blind. So as long as everything goes okay, everything should be fine. I should be like pushing out episodes as smoothly as I could. But until that, I'll see you in the next video.